Today on Around Kansas, Deb takes some time to visit the Silver Lake offices and shares some fun animals and literature with us. Then it's off to view all the amazing wildflowers blooming here in Kansas. Next on the Front Porch, Jamie Bloom visits with Maryann Steward about her amazing memories of attending Kansas State Teachers College in Emporia. Then it's to poetry with Ron Wilson, and we'll end with a fun look at vintage jewelry with Michelle Martin.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com.
Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center. Your stem cells, your health, your life.
Good morning. Welcome to Around Kansas. I'm Deb Goodrich, and I'm back in the offices of Ag AM this morning. And we got a dog to pet here. Can you see Arrow? Arrow is just the prettiest dog ever, aren't you? Aren't you? She sure is. So, yes, kid-friendly, dog-friendly, cow-friendly. Yeah, we got it all here in the office. Share a couple of successes of my friends. This is, again, another animal, Custer's mouse. My friend Marla Matkin wrote this, and Ron Kill, who is a very well-known and widely recognized artist, did the illustrations for this kid's book. This is based on a true story. Custer and his brother Tom would often pick up dogs, stray animals of every kind, including a little mouse that Custer found, I think when he was up in the Dakotas and headed toward the Little Bighorn, had a little mouse with him. So this is a beautifully illustrated story. Marla is going to be setting up a lot of book signings, so I'll try to keep you up to date on those. Follow us on Facebook to keep up. Some of the other things that are coming up this fall, you know, we've got a lot of ghost tour stuff going on. So the Fort Hays Historic Site does their ghost tours. We've got a lot of talking tombstones. I know Topeka Cemetery's got a lot of those tours coming up. So let me know about those, and I'll be glad to pass those along. And again, share them on our Facebook page, because we have a lot of followers on Facebook, and we're happy to pass those events along, and maybe we can get some photos, you know, share those photos. Our photos on Facebook, you know, when I change the cover photo on Facebook, get thousands of views, thousands. Some of them have gotten in the tens of thousands of views. So that's a great way to share some of your views around Kansas and share some of the really cool and photogenic events going on around the state. Of course, one of our favorite events in September is the Walnut Valley Festival at Winfield. And for 40-some years, I think it's 48 years this year, thousands of folks from all over the country, all over the world, have been descending on Walnut Valley for the flat picking championship, for the national and international artists that perform on stage, but most of all, for just the camaraderie. And, you know, Land Rush will be happening real soon, where folks run in to get their camping spots there along the Walnut River. It is just one of the best festivals in America. And we're real excited as they look forward to their 50th anniversary in 2021. And I know they've got a lot of special things. So please, when you go to Walnut Valley, tell them that Deb from Around Kansas sent you. And again, share your pictures. Share them on Facebook. Share them with us, all those great photos from the Winfield Festival. We've got a great show lined up for you today. I'm just so excited about it, and excited to be in Silver Lake here in the Ag AM offices. So stay with us.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about employee safety and work comp coverage. On your farm, do you ask your friends to come help? Are they considered employees or neighbors helping neighbors? Did you know that you can be held responsible just as if it's a work comp accident? Give me a call, we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
Sure Crop Fertilizers was started by my father, Don Sherman, and my mother, Shirley Sherman. Family business that started in the 80s. We predominantly focus on plant nutrients and what we can do to give growers better responses with the fertilizer dollars that they do, and what we can do to make those things work better for the grower. We're based out of Seneca, Kansas. We work with growers in their soil analysis to figure out what they need, and then we can put those in a blend that gives them the best results, and so that we can deliver that direct to their farm so that they have those nutrients where they need them, when they need them, and so that they can apply them in a manner that's very efficient to them and works well in their planting systems and what they're doing. Sure Crop Fertilizers has been around for a long time. We always say we're big enough to take care of everything you need, but yet we're small enough to do it quickly. You can get a hold of us at 1-800-635-4743. Our website is surecropfertilizers.com, and you can always email me at Corey@surecropfertilizers.com, and with any questions you have, we're glad to answer it and work with you.
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff, like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.
I had this horse. It was a good horse, except when the wind was blowing above 30 miles an hour. Wind was blowing about 35, 40, and I saddled him up, rode him out to the end of the lane, and I thought, well, he's doing pretty good. And about 6 jumps later, I was laying on the ground and thinking, boy, my shoulders sure hurt. I kept waiting, and it didn't get better, and so I went to an orthopedic surgeon, and that showed that I had torn rotator cuff. He said, well, I have to do surgery. I thought, I farm and ranch by myself. This is not going to work out very well. I'd been sleeping in my recliner for about 2.5 years because it hurt too much to sleep in bed on my side. I'd heard about Kansas Regenerative Medicine Center on the radio. Gotten down there at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 11:30 the procedure was all over. They just took some fat out of my side here and spun that down for about 45 minutes and then injected it in my shoulders, and I was on my way. It's something you don't hear about, but I thought it was worth a try, and I'm really pleased. It's really worked out well for me.
This segment brought to you by the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center in Oakley.
As I've been driving around Kansas for the last couple of weeks, snow on the mountain is in bloom, and I think that may be my favorite Kansas wildflower because it just transforms the pastures and the fields. So there's so many wildflowers that you can enjoy, so many trails you can do those on. Let's get outdoors Kansas and see where we can find some of the beauty of early fall.
The prairies may be as spectacular in the early fall as they are in the spring. With the rains we have had this year, the grasses are thick and lush, the wildflowers bountiful. Take a drive on any back road, and the reward will be one photo op after another with the grandeur of the Kansas sky as a backdrop. GetOutdoorsKansas.org has trails all around Kansas if you are looking for a place to take the family or get some quality alone time with nature. As you are hiking those trails or traveling those back roads, wouldn't it be nice to know exactly what you are seeing? At first glance, the pastures and fields are merely grass with dots of color, but look more closely. The variety of plants is simply staggering. Professor Michael Haddock at K-State has put together an informative and beautiful website, Kansas Wildflowers and Grasses. This site is so well organized and so user-friendly that no matter how ignorant you are of botany, you will be able to identify the plants in your world. What a wonderful way to share nature with the kids and teach them to observe the world more closely. Mike's website contains 7,375 spectacular identification photos, most taken by Mike himself, for some 934 species of forbs, grasses, sedges, rushes, trees, and other woody plants found growing in Kansas. He has also authored books on the subject, and you'll find those listed on the website as well. The list itself is pure poetry. Among the grasses are arrowfeather, blue stem, Indian grass, nimblewill, green and yellow foxtail, long spike, witchgrass, red lovegrass, windmill grass, velvet dicanthelium. Hope I said that correctly. The wildflowers include brown-eyed Susan, flannel mullein, sorrel, aster, Indian strawberry, snakeweed, sneezeweed, Indian rush pea, Indian mustard, Jerusalem artichoke, primrose, crownbeard, hawkweed, downy goldenrod, ground cherry, broomweed, buffalo burr, dandelions, hyssopus, foxglove, coreopsis, bellflower, bachelor buttons, bull thistle, and butterfly pea. The colorful monikers go on and on, each a unique shade and hue, bringing the prairie to life. Visit Mike's website, then get outdoors and explore around Kansas. Welcome to the Western Kansas Wildlife Travel Center, right here in my hometown of Oakley, Kansas. We're the front door of Western Kansas, located on 3 main highways, I-70, US 83, and US 40. And all those roads lead to history, beautiful scenery, and adventure, no matter which direction you go. We now have an IHOP. That brand that you've trusted up and down the road in all your travels is staffed with local folks, real people, just like you and me, and we're waiting on you to join us. So for fun, adventure, fuel up, fuel your body, and let's have some fun.
Kim Mannering with Hardy Insurance. Today we will talk about umbrella coverage. Did you know that if you're held liable in any type of accident, the judgment can claim your assets? Please give me a call so we can discuss. 316-945-6733.
The Kansas Wheat Innovation Center in Manhattan is rediscovering ways to get improved varieties and new genetics in the hands of farmers faster. Grower-led and checkoff-funded research initiatives are bringing about positive change. This grassroots leadership provides a strong voice in Topeka and Washington, D.C. Now is the time to partner with Kansas Wheat in moving wheat forward. Kansas Wheat Commission and Kansas Association of Wheat Growers. Farmers investing in their future and yours. Log on to rediscoverwheat.org.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Corn. Learn more at kscorn.com.
Maryann Steward grew up in Emporia, Kansas, and had the unique opportunity to attend the Kansas State Teachers College Laboratory School during her grade school years on the campus of what is now Emporia State University. Here she tells us about some of her memories of grade school. So you said that you figure you went about 20 to 25 semesters on the campus of what is now Emporia State University.
That would be correct.
That's a long time.
Some of those semesters were summer school, and that's only 2 months.
And it only costs $1 per summer
that
for
would
you
be
to go
correct.
to summer school. So it was called the lab school. That's
yes,
kind of what they called it then.
That's what we called it. It was a laboratory school.
You got to dance the maypole. Tell me a little bit about doing that.
Oh, what fun! That was so exciting. It was so beautiful. Here's this tall pole, and they had what was it, pink and white
Ribbons.
crepe paper strips that came down, and you go in and under and over and wrap those ribbons around the pole.
Well, so you always had student teachers in your classes, a lot of them, because it was part of Kansas State Teachers College. So you said a lot of times it was like 4 to 1.
Yes, there'd be 4 teachers, student teachers in the class. Might be just 1, might 2, maybe 2.
But you always had a lot of help, which
That's
was
right.
nice. You raised your hand.
Oh, yeah.
So really a wonderful education.
It's great.
That you got. So tell me the story. I liked this story here about brushing your teeth. Miss Borman, your science teacher.
Oh, the science teacher one day in class, that was 5th grade. The science teacher said, is there anybody who forgot to brush their teeth this morning? And I raised my hand immediately. And I said, I didn't brush my teeth. And so she took some kind of a metal instrument and took something off the front teeth. Then she put it under a microscope. And everybody had to look at it. I even got to look at it.
And then you never forgot to brush your teeth.
I never forgot to brush my teeth after that.
That's great. Oh, the gym teacher. I love his name was Gus Fish. I said,
Yes.
man, what a great name for a gym teacher.
He was the gym teacher. We had recess outside. We'd have recess inside. And then
He was a college basketball coach too.
Yes, for years.
I thought it was interesting you talked about swimming and the swimsuits that you had to wear.
Oh my gosh, those swimsuits. The girls, we didn't swim at the same time the boys did, but we had to wear suits that were furnished by the campus, by the college. And those suits were gray wool, and they were
Itchy.
so bad, and they itched all the time. And do you know, we found out the boys didn't have to wear any suits at all, and we were pretty ticked about that.
I would think you were.
And we complained.
Yeah.
We wanted equal.
Did you win that battle?
Didn't work.
Didn't work.
We still had to wear those gray suits, and the boys still
went without.
Yeah.
I liked your music class notes here too, because you actually listened to music on a Victrola.
Oh, yes. Not
During
many
music
people.
class.
I didn't even try to explain that ever.
And then one of the student teachers you had in music class turned out to be somebody who was going to Germany to run in the Olympics.
Archie San Romani.
Yeah, 1936.
In 1936, he went to Berlin. And when he finally finished all the racing, in the final race, I guess I should say he was a miler.
Yeah.
And when he finished the race, he came in 4th at the Berlin Olympics. And he came back and told us all about it.
That's really awesome. Yeah. So you've met an Olympian in your life. So, yeah.
My name's Karen Cope, and I have multiple sclerosis. When you have MS, on the outside you look great, but you know what's really going on in the inside is chronic body pain, chronic fatigue. And there's lots of days that I'd wake up and say, oh, please God, help me get through this day. You know, after stem cells, Chloe, my youngest daughter, she was asked by my father-in-law, how's your mom doing? And Chloe said, Grandpa, I've never had a mom like this before, because she was 8 when I was diagnosed, and she really had no other memory of me but being sick. It's really the simple things that we do as a family, like play cards, and to be able to win at cards. You know, they all laugh because I used to repeat myself and say, what hand are we on? You know, where are we at? And it's just been really a true blessing from God, and we're really thankful.
Okay, looks like it's time for our tour. Welcome to the Fort Wallace Museum. Here at the museum, you're going to find some really interesting stuff, like our replica stagecoach from the Butterfield Overland Dispatch. We've got facades from the fort buildings. We've got an 1870s flag. There's a plesiosaur that was discovered locally. We've got the Ray pump organ collection. We're a little bitty place with a great big story, and we'd love to have you.
This segment brought to you by the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
This is a branding iron, and in the days of old, the brand was the only way, along with ear notches, for a rancher to identify his cattle. These days we use ear tags, but 150 years ago, being able to know a brand was a really important skill for a cowboy, and more than that, it became a symbol of the ranch and their life. This poem is entitled Branding. Just like a brand name on a product at the store, a rancher's brand is a design and much more. It's burned into the hide of a cow or a steer to identify the cow's owner out on the frontier. It might use the initials from the owner's name or a ranch characteristic which might serve the same. The brand served as a symbol of the ranch with pride, whether a flying letter, walking letter, or lazy letter on its side. A cowboy learned quickly to read a brand, so he'd identify cattle all over the land. He'd read left to right, top down, or inside in to determine the herd that the cow belonged in. Most of all, the brand proved the cattle ownership, so no one could steal them or take them on a trip. When it came to their ranch, the cowboys loyally took a stand. That's why we always say, we ride for the brand. Happy trails.
Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agamandkansas.com.
Next time you see a beautiful field of corn, reach out and thank the farmers who work tirelessly to raise corn for livestock feed, renewable fuels, and exports to feed a growing world population. The farmers on the Kansas Corn Commission work for Kansas Corn with grower-funded checkoff dollars that support foreign and domestic market development, research, promotion, and education to expand opportunities for Kansas farmers. To learn more, visit kscorn.com.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
What if sustainability were synonymous with U.S. soy? If energy efficiency, water quality, and soil health help define U.S. soy's value, that future is here, the time is now. To meet end-user demands, the Soybean Checkoff is committing to sustainability that's achievable, worthwhile, and enduring. A message from the Kansas Soybean Commission, the Soybean Checkoff, progress powered by Kansas farmers.
This segment brought to you by Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture. To join today or for more information, go to kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.
Good morning, Around Kansas viewers. My name is Michelle Martin, and your host, Deb Goodrich, asked me if I would share a few tips and hints on collecting vintage jewelry. My first and foremost tip is collect what you like. Don't let anybody else tell you what you should or shouldn't collect. Your collection should be personal and reflect your style and your taste. If you love pink, then by all means, collect anything pink that catches your fancy. Myself, I like pink, I like purple, but I love to have green and other colors in my collection. So by all means, collect what you find attractive. That means you're more likely to wear it. And simply buying a vintage piece because it's collectible, if you don't like it, means you're not likely to wear it. You want to get maximum value for what you've gotten. Second, don't be afraid if you are at an antique store or a flea market or looking online to ask a seller questions. Turn those pieces over. Make sure the pin backs, the clasps, the clips, all of the hooking mechanisms, make sure they all work. You don't want to buy a piece that is damaged that you're not going to be able to wear. 3, don't be afraid to look for quality. And when I say quality, I mean turn those pieces over and look for maker's marks. Those maker's marks will give you an indication of when they were made, who made them. Don't be afraid also to stand right there in an antique store, turn a piece over, look at that maker's mark, and Google it on your phone. I do that all the time. That way you know you are getting the best value for your money. And I think my last piece of advice is to make sure that you're buying pieces that you can make functional for your modern life. Ladies, let's face it, we're no longer the women of the 1950s who were wearing dresses every single day with beautiful little jackets and great hats and gloves. There are a lot of pieces that are made to be worn with specific kinds of clothing. So buy the pieces that you know will fit your wardrobe and your style. Now, I'm also going to show you some examples from my own collection so you can see some of the things I collect and you can get an idea about quality and what to look for in great pieces. As promised, I'm sharing with you a few items from my personal vintage jewelry collection, things that have sentimental value or important. For me, this pink coat brooch, this is definitely one of those items. This belonged to my great-grandmother, and I was so thrilled when I received this piece because when I wear it, I think of her every single time. I also like to collect sets. Here we see a set that includes a bracelet, earrings, and a brooch that match. It's a suite. And I have paired it with a set of beautiful glass beads. And even though they're not a part of the set or the suite, they complement it really well. And this shows how you need to be able to mix and match your vintage jewelry. I can mix and match it with this beautiful blue milk glass and rhinestone bracelet. I can also mix those pieces with this lovely brooch and earrings here. So don't be afraid to experiment, don't be afraid to play, and have fun collecting vintage jewelry.
Thanks for joining me today on Around Kansas. I'm Deb Goodrich, and I'll be seeing you somewhere around Kansas.
Closed captioning brought to you by Ag Promo Source. Together we grow. Learn more at agpromosource.com. Watch Ag AM in Kansas online at agamandkansas.com.
Valley Vet Supply is devoted to providing information and professional quality products at reasonable prices.
ValleyVet.com, ValleyVet.com, Valley Vet Supply.
Imagine turning soybean oil, used cooking oils, and waste animal fats into fuel so amazing it drives U.S. jobs and our economy forward. Learn more about biodiesel at americasadvancedbiofuel.com.
Kansas Farm Bureau, the voice of agriculture, represents grassroots agriculture. The state's largest and most powerful farm organization stands up for its members through leadership development, agriculture education, legal defense, environmental advocacy, farm safety, and risk management. Members also enjoy money-saving benefits. To join our organization today or to learn more, go to www.kfb.org or find us on Facebook and Twitter.